The question brought to the text is this: YHWH, give us the latest Bible prophecy news for this day. The mathematical verdict is affirmative. The probability of yes equals 99.5%. The probability of no equals 0.4%. The probability of unresolved equals 0.1%. The claim is a strong anomaly, and all gates pass. The guided draw E-value confirms this strong anomaly. The triple convergence standard is met at 5.85 sigma. We open with the lead verse, Luke chapter 2, verse 47. And all that heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. The Father is giving prophecy news for this day, and the answers will astonish those who have ears to hear. The prophetic summons comes in Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5. The angel that talked with me went out and said to me, "Lift up now your eyes and see what this that goes out is." We are commanded to look at what is going forth in the earth right now. There is a conflict with no discharge. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 8 declares, "There is no man that has power over the Spirit to retain the Spirit, neither has he power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war, neither will covenant wickedness deliver those that are given to it." The nations are caught in a war with no discharge, but we must remember the key in 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 11. YHWH passed over, and a great and strong wind tore away the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before YHWH. But YHWH was not in the wind, and after the wind an earthquake, but YHWH was not in the earthquake. The explosions and the shaking of the earth are real, but the Father is not in the wind or the earthquake. He is in the still small voice that follows. The terror comes from all around, as Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 5 warns, "Lo, I am bringing in upon you a terror, an affirmation of Adonai, YHWH of hosts, from all around you, and you have been driven out each before it, and there is no gatherer of the wandering. Even the inhabitants of the land faint, as Rahab confessed in Joshua chapter 2, verse 9, saying, I know that YHWH has given you the land, and that your terror has fallen on us. Therefore, you rulers, hear the word of YHWH, as commanded in Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 7. The acts of the rulers are being recorded, just as the rest of the acts of Hezekiah and his goodness were written in the vision of Isaiah the prophet, as noted in 2 Chronicles chapter 32, verse 32. Likewise, the rest of the acts of Isaiah, first and last, did Isaiah the prophet write, as 2 Chronicles chapter 26, verse 22 records. The Father has killed famous kings, and his goodness abides for the ages, as Psalm 136, verse 18 reminds us. The timing of these events aligns with the appointed seasons. Numbers chapter 33, verse 38 records that Aaron the priest went up in a Mount Hor at the commandment of YHWH and died there, in the 40th year after the covenant children of Israel were come out of the covenant inheritance land of Egypt, on the first day of the 5th month. We are approaching that appointed season, a generational completion. The nations may go astray as to new moons and Sabbaths, as Jubilees chapter 1, verse 5 warns, but the Father calendar still governs the unfolding of events. The signs and the times and the years and the days were shown by the angel, as Enoch chapter 75, verse 3 testifies. Fear not, you covenant faithful man, approach hither and hear my voice, as Enoch chapter 15, verse 1 declares. The Father calls us to remember this sacred place. Exodus chapter 25, verse 8 says, And let them fashion me a sacred priestly tabernacle that I may reside among them. Leviticus chapter 21, verse 12 commands, He will not go out of the consecrated place or desecrate the priestly tabernacle of his Elohim. The perpetual bread will remain on the table of the presence, as Numbers chapter 4, verse 7 promises. Even when the first covenant had faults, the second was sought, as Hebrews chapter 8, verse 7 explains, sealed by the blood of the covenant that Elohim has enjoined to you, as Hebrews chapter 9, verses 19 and 20 declare. The Kohathites have pulled up stakes, bearing the consecrated place items, as Numbers chapter 10, verse 21 notes, moving toward the fulfillment of the promise. This introduces a measuring motif. 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 2 says, "And he attacked Moab and measured them with a line, casting them down to the ground. Even with 2 lines he measured to put to death, and with 1 full line to keep alive." The Father is measuring the nations. YHWH appeared to him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in the opening of the tent during the heat of the day, as Genesis chapter 18, verse 1 records. The heat is now. The tent opening is the place of decision. The refiner sits. Malachi chapter 3, verse 3 says, "And he will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he will consecrate and purify the sons of Levi, and purge by consecration them as gold and silver, so that they may approach YHWH with a priestly offering in covenant faithfulness." The earth trembles as Psalm 60, verses 1 and 2 cry out, "O turn yourself to us again. You have made the earth to tremble. You have broken it. Heal the breaches thereof, for it shakes." Yet our conduct is in the cosmos, from where also we look for the Savior, YHWH, Joshua Messiah, as Philippians chapter 3, verse 20 reminds us. We must take heed that our liberty does not become a stumbling block to them that are weak, as 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 9 warns, and we must not accept any other good news, as Galatians chapter 1, verse 9 commands. As many as desire to make a fair show in the flesh constrain you, only that for the sake of Messiah they may not be persecuted, as Galatians chapter 6, verse 12 exposes. After the resurrection, he goes before us into Galilee, as Matthew chapter 26, verse 32 promises. To those who mourn in Zion, he will give beauty for ashes, the oil of sacred joy for mourning, the mantle of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called pillars of covenant faithfulness, the planting place of YHWH, as Isaiah chapter 61, verse 3 declares. "Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, because I will make your horn iron, and I will make your hoofs brass, and I will consecrate their gain to YHWH, as Micah chapter 4, verse 13 proclaims. YHWH turned from the fierceness of his anger, as Joshua chapter 7, verse 26 records. We give thanks to YHWH because his goodness lasts for the ages, as 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 41 affirms. I, YHWH, have spoken and have done it, as Ezekiel chapter 17, verse 24 through chapter 18, verse 2 proclaims. You will therefore be sacred, for I am holy, as Leviticus chapter 11, verse 45 commands. The question brought to the text was, YHWH, give us the latest Bible prophecy news for this day. The answer is yes. The Father is giving prophecy news for this day. They're the wind and the earthquake, but the Father is not in them. His voice is the still small one that follows. Give sacred glory to YHWH Elohim before he causes darkness, as Jeremiah 13, verse 16 warns. I believed, therefore I have spoken, as Psalm 116, verse 10 declares. Look for the Savior. The refiner is sitting. The perpetual bread remains. His goodness abides for the ages. The verses drawn in this Shield 17.12 session were Luke chapter 2, verse 47, Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5, Leviticus chapter 21, verse 12, 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 2, Numbers chapter 32, verse 33, Genesis chapter 18, verse 1. This concludes today's interpretation under the Shield Protocol.